Good day and welcome to the virtual open house webinar. Today's conference is being recorded. At this time, I would like to turn the conference over to Emily Apple-Newby. Please go ahead, ma'am.
Hi, good afternoon or good morning, depending on where you are, and thanks everyone for joining us. We are staff from the Office of Family Assistance National Responsible Fatherhood Clearinghouse, and we're excited to present to you today something that we've been working on for the past couple of months to provide new resources for practitioners and fathers to engage with the NRFC and the broader fatherhood community. We're going to show you through the redesigned Fatherhood.gov page, as well as the new virtual collaborative community, or VCC, that exists for fatherhood practitioners through the National Responsible Fatherhood Clearinghouse. We're going to take a minute to go through each site and then answer any questions that you have about how you can use these tools to enhance your practice working with fathers, or if you are a father yourself, on how you can get resources on being the best dad you can be. Thank you so much for joining us. The Office of Family Assistance at the Administration for Children and Family provides funds to support fathers and families through the National Responsible Fatherhood Clearinghouse. And the Clearinghouse makes available resources for dads, fatherhood programs, researchers, and policymakers, which can be found on these two sites. Today, we'll hear about the redesigned Fatherhood.gov, and the presentation will be from myself. I'm Emily Apple-Newby. I'm a senior manager at ICF, part of the National Responsible Fatherhood team. And then you'll hear about the virtual collaborative community from Barbara Scarlett, who is a community development officer at VIA Consulting Group, and Lawrence Wilbon, who is the outcomes and virtual collaborative community coordinator at Fathers Incorporated. While we work for different organizations, we're all part of the NRFC team, and we've been working together closely to make sure that these tools are awesome for you. So with that, I am going to share my screen, and I am going to walk you through the new redesigned Fatherhood.gov. Great. So it looks like y'all can see my site. The redesigned Fatherhood.gov offers improved usability and look and feel to create a seamless and integrated experience for fathers and practitioners. We knew from user research and interviews with the people who use the NRFC, the Fatherhood Clearinghouse site, that people came to the site with a specific goal, and in general, they could be overwhelmed with too much information. So we implemented several new solutions with the new site to address that. We're using audience-based navigation to help our primary audiences, which are programs and dads, get through the content they're interested in. We know from user interviews that fathers are generally only interested in a small subset of content, and practitioners are interested in a broader range of the content that we've put together. We've organized pages with clear categories and use of headers and subheaders. We've created topic pages to be one-stop shops on a particular topic, for example, child support. They come up often. And all pages feature related content that a practitioner or a father might also be interested in. And you'll see how those broad concepts come into practice in the design of the site as you walk through it. First, I want to show you a little bit about the resources that we have for dads. So if you see here, there's the tab in the main menu that says For Dads. And you will see that we have the page is organized with topics of interest for dads under 4 domains: strong families and healthy relationships, supporting your child in school and career, personal resilience, and having fun together. So let's look at one example of a page. This is a new page here, I believe. It's an update, a page we didn't have on the old site about co-parenting. Topic comes up a lot when we are working with fathers. in the terms of the calls and what we hear when we're out on the road. So you can see there's an introduction to the topic of co-parenting that's written in a way that the dads can understand. There are some tips and best practices for somebody who wants to find out really about how to grapple with the topic. Then we've listed all the NRSC resources that are available, created by the NRSC. They're related to this topic. So you can see there's a tips page, there's a research spotlight about relationship quality and co-parenting, and so different resources that dads might be interested in. There's a spotlight on a blog post created by the NRSC, a dad talk blog post that's related to the topic of whatever the page is about, so in this case, co-parenting. So you can see how we've cross-leveraged a lot of resources from across the site so that anybody who's interested in co-parenting will be able to read more. And if you click on read more, it takes you to that blog post. And finally, there's an FAQ section. So we hope that you can see how this provides a real depth of information for dads about the topics they're interested in, but breaks it out into bite-sized chunks so they can take as little or as much of it as they want to. Definitely, we think these are the domains and topics that are of most interest to dads, but if you can think of topics that would be of interest to them, then please reach out to us. Our email address is at the bottom of the site, help@fatherhood.gov.info. That would be a great way to tell us what you want to see more of on the site. So beyond the topics of interest for dad, we have this list of activities for dads and kids. And we've always included these in our NRFC newsletters, but now they're available in searchable format on our website. And you can see that there is over 250 of them. You can search through the you can filter, I should say, sorry, by the age of your child. And so you can have it only show you the kinds of activities that are relevant, because something that you do with a toddler, not something you do with a teen. So you can filter down for the age of the child that the father is working with. So that's a great way that you can share with dads if they're looking for something to do with their children. Then finally, we have our classic dad jokes page, which is something that we've had for a long time. Oh, that's too big. I'm not sure I can make it bigger. Sorry about that. We have the dad jokes page where that has the dad jokes that have been submitted over the years from our users, and you can tell it to give you another joke, or users can submit their own dad jokes. So finally, the last area that we think would be of interest to dads is if they're looking for a fatherhood program. If they haven't already found your fatherhood program, then they might be interested in finding one. So I'm going to type in our address here in Virginia, and it gives the availability of programs within a 100-mile radius of fatherhood programs. Currently, it has ones that are federally funded, as well as human services agencies that would be supporting fathers in all 50 states and the territories. And so that is a way that fathers can be connected with programs, because we know that the website is one way of providing information to fathers, but it's going to be so much more impactful if they can connect with your organization. So now I'm going to move on to the For Programs section. So it kind of mirrors the For Dads pages in that it has topics of interest that are organized under a series of domains. And again, if you remember if you were familiar with the Fatherhood Toolkit from the last version of the website, then you will see a lot of similar topics here. We've used many of those same topics here and kind of refreshed and updated the topics in a way that with more recent statistics and insights. So again, these topic pages will have an introduction that will introduce practitioners to the topic. We know we need to go a little bit deeper into each of these topics because running a fatherhood program can be complex. And so if there are associated subtopics under the main topics of domestic violence, then we have any subpages we've included here. So for example, engaging men as allies in domestic violence prevention, that's going to take you to another topic page that goes even deeper into that subtopic. We have those high-level tips and best practices, and we have frequently asked questions, again, that helps define the terms and gives some quick answers. And so this is a good way for program staff to learn about new areas of program development and new staff to learn about the core components of running a fatherhood program. The next section that we have available for programs is called Program Activities. These were pulled from the Fatherhood Toolkit, but they're now all in one place, and they're searchable by the skills that you want to build with fathers. So for example, if you want to build communication skills, you can refine here on the left-hand side so that you see the three activities that are related to communication skills. And when you open them up, you'll see the materials that are needed, the pre-session procedures. What you need to do is prep, learning competencies, that's like learning objectives, and then the step-by-step instructions for facilitating this in a group or one-on-one setting. Now, I should say that we have, how many of these? I think we have about 20 of them. Yeah, 20. We are definitely looking for more activities. So if you have some tried and true activities that you would love to share with your peers about how you engage fathers in group or individual ways to help them learn how to be better partners and fathers, we would love to hear it. And if you send it to us to the email address for the NRFC, we will put it up on our website, and we will link back to your webpage to give you credit for the wonderful work that you're doing and sharing with your peers. The next area that we have under, or I should say over here, is the Dad Talk blog, which is something that we have, it's a way that the NRFC can communicate with the field on a bi-weekly basis, that we can keep on top of keep in communication with you about the issues that we see going on we and OFA see going on in the fatherhood field, and we can provide an update about that. So these are meant to be light and easy ways for us to connect with you about topics. And then finally, we have here under 4 programs, the final piece that I'm going to talk about is the Fatherhood Media Campaign. So we have long worked, the Ad Council is part of the National Responsible Fatherhood Clearinghouse, and they have, over the years, created some great media collateral for social media, videos for posting to TV, like if you want to get a public service announcement aired on your local TV stations, or audio spots listed, played on your local radio stations. It's all about promoting fatherhood and awareness of fatherhood and appreciation of fathers, or print pieces that could go in local newspapers or on bus shelters, for example. So those are all here. Those are all consolidated here under 4 programs: Fatherhood Media Campaign, PSAs. And then, of course, you'll see the 4th one under there is the NRFC Virtual Collaborative Community, and I'm going to hand it over to Barbara and Lawrence in just a minute to show you where that will take you. But the last thing that I wanted to show you through before I go is the library, the updated library, which has enhanced usability, enhanced preview, and access to see what's in there, what's recently been added, still all the great ways that you can filter the content that's in there by topic, and these map to the topics. You see there's a lot of different facets to running a fatherhood program. Resource type, so whether it's a webinar or an issue brief or a PSA, it's all in there. And so that's a great, everything that you've seen throughout the site, it's always going to live in the library, basically. So we believe this redesigned website offers great content on responsible fatherhood that's more engaging and easier to explore. If you have questions about how to use the site, or ideas for ways to make it even better, please contact the NRFC at help@Fatherhood.gov.info. And as I mentioned, we're actively looking to build out the program activities, so if you have activities that you'd like to share with your peers, please send them to us. So with that, I am going to stop sharing my screen so I can see if we have any questions. I guess is what I will do. So I see that someone asked if there was essentially the same functionality on mobile devices. That is a great question. And yeah, definitely, there's content is consolidated horizontally, so it's more of a column format, but yeah, all the same content is there, and it's what's great about this redesigned website is that it has the look and feel of modern websites in terms of the functionality and usability that you're used to interacting with on your mobile phone and on your devices. So with that, I would like to turn it over to my friends and colleagues, Barbara and Lawrence, to speak with you a little bit about what we've put together with the virtual collaborative community. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Barbara Scarlett, and as Emily mentioned to you, I'm with the virtual collaborative community. I'm the director as far as our team, and it's my privilege today to welcome you to a brand new component of the NRFC called the virtual collaborative community. As Emily mentioned earlier, right here under programs, there's a new link that says collaborative community. And as many of you already know, the NRFC is focused on strengthening families, supporting fathers, and engaging with responsible fatherhood educators and practitioners. And that ironically now, more than ever, there's a need to connect and to communicate in new ways while still working together to help families, and in particular, individuals who are working directly in the field of families and fatherhood. And as such, the NRFC virtual collaborative community is going to be a vital component that will allow fatherhood stakeholders to engage in online peer-to-peer learning and to help practitioners such as yourselves collaborate, discuss common issues, challenges, and to develop new strategies to resolve problems. So we're really excited about that today. But before we go any further, I'd like to introduce Lawrence Wilburn, the Virtual Collaborative Community Administrator, and he's going to talk to you about what we'll go over in today's presentation, and then we'll dive right into the walkthrough. Lawrence?
Thank you, Barbara, for the introduction. Again, this is Lawrence Wilburn. I am your Virtual Collaborative Community Administrator, and during today's NRFC Open House, Barbara and I will cover four main areas. One, where to access the VCC. Two, how to join, including creating a new login and what's involved in the registration process. Third, how to access resources, communicate, and engage. And lastly, how to contact the NRFC VCC team with questions, suggestions, and new ideas. And with that, I'll turn the presentation back over to Barbara.
All right, great. Thank you so much, Lawrence. So we'll dive right into the walkthrough. So starting with the first question, where to access the virtual collaborative community. So back here under programs, there's a new link that says NRFC Virtual Collaborative Community. So I'll click here. And that takes you directly to the login or sign up screen. And so you can join, as I mentioned earlier, you can join the VCC from four programs and click in the link which will take you to this sign up or login screen. Now, if this is your first time, as many of you, this is your first time, what you'll do is actually you'll click on the sign up button here, and I'm going to walk you through the process. And it's really simple. It only takes actually less than a minute to create your login. But what you'll see on step 1 of 2 steps is just a brief welcome, and then right underneath that is a disclaimer, which is the basic NRSC guidelines in terms of use. But simply all that's needed and all that's required for logging in is your email address, a password, your first name, and then the last name. So I'm going to do a brief, walk you through a brief demonstration here with a test email address. And then for security, just identify that you're a person. And then on the second step, we'd like to know a little bit about yourself. So we'd like you to please tell us, who you are, if you're a practitioner, researcher, general interest, a policymaker, and then we have a section for our NRSC internal team. So in this example, I'm going to just click practitioner. And then right below that, you'll see a section that says VCC interest area selection. So from here, we'd like for you to select from the list below some topics that are of most interest to you. And by doing so, you'll receive a match notification email about similar resources, webinars, or events when they become available. So for this example, I'm just going to check all of them. I'm really interested in every part of fatherhood topics. And essentially, that's it. So those 2 simple steps take me to the registration confirmation page. And then right underneath that, it just tells you what you can expect. Your profile, actually, once it's submitted, it'll go over to our NRSC internal team. And I'll turn this over to Lawrence in just a second to explain what happens in that process. But in the meantime, once you get to this step, please feel free to look at the welcome page. And the welcome page tells you a little bit more about the NRSC virtual collaborative community and what you can expect to receive. And how, really more importantly, how you can engage and communicate with other practitioners across the country. So with that, Lawrence, I'll turn it over to you. If you can explain just a little bit about what happens after they go through those initial steps 1 and 2 to create a profile.
Absolutely. Thank you, Barbara. Now that you've created your profile, you'll receive a message from the system administrator to confirm your participation. We'll ask that you will submit, confirm, and send that message back to us. And then after that point, you'll be fully verified, and you'll have access to participate now in the virtual collaborative community.
Great.
Back to you,
Thank you,
Barbara.
Lawrence. Thank you, Lawrence. So very simply, after you go through that initial step in that process, there'll be you'll receive a confirmation email from the internal NRSC team. And when that happens, you can log back in. So I'll demonstrate what that looks like. So the next time you come to the NRSC VCC, instead of signing up, you'll actually log in. So I'm going to use the same email as before. And as you can see here, my menu is brand new now. I have the welcome page, I have resources, I have a webinar, the groups, members, and then also webinars. So now that I've received, as I mentioned, when you receive the verification email from the team, you'll log back in and you'll have access to the full navigation menu. So what I'd like to show you first is let's take a tour of the resources area. And so you can see what you can expect to find here. So in this area, you'll find a variety of articles and you'll have access to different research findings. You can find program or policy resources. And more importantly, and I'll show you in just a minute, there'll be an area here where you can actually contribute and add your own thoughts, ideas, and comments to these stories here. So I'll just pick one out of the list here. I'll pick Bringing Hope to Children of Incarcerated Fathers. And as you can see here, this is the story, the resource that's been posted. You can actually kind of scroll down and you can actually see the comments that are happening between, two individuals back and forth between James and Eugene. For those of you on the phone that want to jump right in and add your comments to this as well, you can initiate a new comment, or you can simply hit the reply arrow right here on the left-hand side, the right-hand side of this screen, so that you can reply directly to James, or you can start a brand new thread. So in addition to that, if I go back to the resources page, you'll notice that these 4 areas are very familiar. So when I was, if you can recall, when I was first creating my login, I selected a couple of areas that that were of most interest to me. So in this example, say, hi, I'm very interested in things that are special topics. So imagine as this virtual collaborative community starts to grow over the years, we'll have many different stories and resources that are posted here. And so maybe not everything is of interest to me. Maybe I'm only interested in special topics. And so what this does is that allows me to kind of filter on this area here and looking at the special topics. And I could just kind of jump into, again, one of these stories. And again, here's another story. Again, this one doesn't have any comments yet, and so we're so eager for those of you on the line to join and just jump in and start commenting. And you'll notice also there's a follow button. So if you're not quite ready to join the conversation just yet and you want to follow some of this content, you can click the follow button. And what that will do is that'll send you alerts as conversations begin to develop around some of these areas. So now we'll actually go into the next area that I want to cover, which are our groups. And the group section is something that we're very excited about, because think of a group really as, I know many of you are on social media, anyway, so you're familiar with the concept of like an online group. But in this instance, this is a private group of those of you that have come through the secure login. You've gone through the vetting process, and now you're able to jump into any of these groups. Now you notice there are only 4. So we're very eager to get some of your feedback on different types of groups that we can start, so that various ones of you can come together and really begin to collaborate and to have dialogue around certain topics. So I'll jump right into this first one here on the left, positive reentry from incarceration. And so simply, it just takes one click to join a group. And I've joined the group, but lo and behold, there's folks that are already here. It says there's 7 members here, and it's got 2 people that have already commented here. So if I wanted to comment back, I could just say, just say a simple hello here, and that post there, and it sees my name, or I could actually go to the post message and start a brand new thread. So I know for many of you who've spent some time online, none of these concepts are new to you. I just wanted to walk you through how the process happens within the virtual collaborative community. And also, if you notice here, there's another menu at the top of the page here where you can look at various resources. So if I go into group resources, you'll see another document here that you can load. Now this is important because many of you are specialists in your field, and you may have a document, or you may have a resource, a white paper that you've written, something that's working, maybe there's something that's working very well on the East Coast that you want to share with folks on the West Coast. This is the perfect place and the perfect opportunity for you to come in and to share that information. And then lastly, what I'd like to mention as far as the groups are concerned is that right inside the group, you'll notice featured course. Now, what we've done in a very strategic manner, we've actually gone through some of the most popular webinars that were from the NRFC and actually built a group around those. So this group here called Positive Reentry from Incarceration was actually an idea that came from a very popular webinar that was done some time ago called Supporting Fathers and Families in Incarceration. We realized from the onset that sometimes during a live webinar, a chat is really only the tip of the iceberg in terms of the type of dialogue that can happen and or that should happen around a particular topic. And so the purpose of this is to really allow the conversation to continue around these various topics, and so you can continue the dialogue, not just within the chat, but now you can bring some of those ideas and topics right inside of this group and continue to have that dialogue. So with that, I'll go over into the webinar section. And you can see here we've got 4 courses, 4 webinars actually presented, and many of you are actually a part of the Using Virtual Technology in Fatherhood programs. And so this is here if you want to rewatch it. here, but there's something that's unique in this sense. So if you click the begin button, you can actually watch this video right from your computer, or the platform is responsive design, so you can actually watch this from your mobile device, your smartphone, or your tablet. So you don't have to be on your desktop to access the virtual collaborative community. And so one other thing, as I mentioned from the beginning, it's not just about kind of recycling content. We want to keep the dialogue and the conversations happening around some of these very important and vital conversations that are happening today. And so so here you can actually provide feedback and comments. And as you're rewatching the webinar, you can take notes and email these notes to yourself. So there's no rush. You're not under the pressure of kind of having to get through a webinar, but you can take your time. Here you can watch it, like I said, on your phone, on your tablet, and just kind of go through and take a deeper dive into the resources and the content. And so lastly, I want to go right to the member section, which I saved the best for last. So last but not least, here in this section is the ability for you to connect with other practitioners that are in the fatherhood space. So I'll give you an example. So I'm at a conference and I meet someone named Kevin, but I couldn't remember his last name, but I know that he's a part of the NRFC in some way. And so I would come here and maybe type in Kevin. I'm just making up a name and hit enter. And lo and behold, hey, here's Kevin. And this is the same person that I may have met at a conference or a workshop. Now, the great thing about this is that I can click on Kevin's profile. I can read a little bit about his information. You can see here, it's kind of the built-in, the Twitter feed from his organization is built kind of right into his page. And I can simply click this direct message button and send out a message and say, hey, Kevin, I met you at the conference. I couldn't remember your last name, but I'm so glad I found you on the virtual collaborative community. And so right then and there, in a very dynamic manner, you're able to share or to engage with someone. And then lastly, I want to mention, so when that happens, this is kind of like a direct message function. So those of you who are familiar with WhatsApp or kind of these instant messaging type platforms, what happens is that you'll get a message via email, and the next time you log in, you'll have a message waiting indicator. So if I go to my internal inbox, and again, this is my private internal inbox for the virtual collaborative community, I can see I've got a message waiting for me from Tracy, who I haven't seen and maybe haven't talked to in some time, but she found me on the virtual collaborative community. And she says, hi, Brenda, I'm looking forward to continuing our conversations regarding women and fatherhood programs. And I'm just going to say, me too, and reply. And so Tracy will get a message. And so you can see very simply, Tracy and I are able to go back and forth in a conversation and really engage and kind of pick back up where we left off. And again, as kind of we're in this space here where we're having to put more distance around ourselves, this virtual collaborative community is really a place that we can come close, that we can come back to and kind of come back to some of these important dialogues and back to some of these important topics. So I know I've covered a lot, and I'm sure I've got some questions coming in, but I've gone through there's one other thing, I almost forgot. So if you notice, if I go back to the members page, you notice that some individuals have a brief bio. So this is important. So this kind of gives us an idea as to kind of the space that you're working in. So the way that you would do that is that you go right into edit profile. And right here under who am I, you would just select and just type in a short bio. So I could say I am a policy maker. And then I click Save Changes right at the bottom there, and that would be posted to my profile. So then, again, anyone who comes to my profile can find out a little bit more information about who I am, where I am, the kind of space that I'm working in, and things of that nature. And so, again, we're really looking forward to those of you on the phone who are practitioners jumping in and engaging. So excited to be able to offer this to you as a resource. And before we go into our Q&A, I'll turn it back over to Lawrence to give you a couple of important pieces of information on how you can contact us, because we want to hear from you and we want to know your ideas and thoughts. Lawrence?
Thank you, Barbara. What a great presentation. So now we want to hear from you. If you have any great ideas, you could reach out to us by going to the hyperlink at the bottom of the screen where it says Contact Us. You're able to submit questions or any ideas that you may want to share with us by clicking that link. Or at the bottom of the screen, as you see there is also a box where it says Help. If you click the Help box there, it would allow you to submit your questions, your concerns, but then also it allows you to upload information to be approved to share within the community. So this is your community. We want you to take advantage of it and enjoy being a part of this father-focused community. Thank you.
Right.
Thank you, Bob.
Thank you, Lawrence. Yeah, thank you, Lawrence. And I clicked the help button while you were talking, so I just wanted to make sure everyone saw it. So again, in the bottom, no matter where you are on the VCC, in the bottom right-hand corner, there's a help button. So here's where you can say, you may not necessarily need help, but maybe there's an idea. You've got an idea for a new group, a new topic, something of that nature. You can just type that here, maybe attach the file that you want to share with us. And similar to the website team, we'll be vetting that content, and we'll get back to you with our thoughts and feedback. So with that said, I am actually going to I'm going to leave my screen sharing up, and I think there may be some questions coming in. And Enzo, or the moderator, I'll let you tell me how you'd like to proceed with the Q&A session.
Hey, Barbara, this is Emily. I can read those out for you. One question we had for login accessing the VCC, I would use my name, and what would be my password?
Oh, you can come up with it with any password that you'd like. So great question. So I'm going to log out, and if you go here, I'm just going to put in my demo. But essentially, oh no, not here. Let me go on this side. So let me start from the beginning. Great, that was a great question. So I want to make sure I take my time and answer that one. It's a good question. So when you come to the, I think I'm logged. I forgot to log out earlier. So when you come here, you'll type in your email address. Now your password, it does have a couple of security points on it. So if you don't, it has to have at least one uppercase, one lowercase, and one special character. So just make sure that it has one of those things or one of these three criteria, and you'll be good to go. So that was a great question. So you can come up with your own password. It just can't be like a really simple one, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Probably stay away from those and pick something that's a little more secure, and you'll be fine. Great question.
Great. Another question we got for you says, it appears the profile picture function isn't working, just a larger picture similar to a cover photo in Facebook.
Yes, great question. We actually anticipated that question, so we've already got an answer. Actually, we have a question into the folks over at OFA to make sure that it's okay to share your picture profile. So we're kind of waiting to hear some feedback on that. So if we get the thumbs up on that, we'll turn that picture photo, that picture part in. Right now, you can upload a background photo. And so with the background photo, you can maybe, put a little bit of information about maybe where you're from or something of that nature. But the headshots, we're just waiting for a little bit of feedback on, just to make sure that that's okay. And hopefully we'll send a message out to everyone on that soon. Everyone that's a part of the virtual collaborative community will let you know when it's okay to and if it's been approved to upload a headshot. A great question. We anticipated that one to come today, so thank you for asking.
Thanks. We got some feedback from Olga in Massachusetts. She said, what an easy site to use. I was able to sign up and work on my profile. Thank you very much for a comprehensive presentation. So thank you, Barbara and Wilson and Lawrence. Good job.
Oh, great. Any other questions?
No, the last question that we had was kind of general for all of us, and it was fatherhood programs. They are redesigning their website as well, and they would like to include Fatherhood.gov as a resource link. Would that be okay? And the answer is, of course it would. We would love that if you would hyperlink to Fatherhood.gov, to the VCC, to any of the pages that we offer that are out there. It's definitely available for your use, and we look forward to hearing. We'd love to hear how you used it, actually, and what people thought of it. Thank you, everybody, for your great questions.
Yep.
If
Emily,
you want to download,
I have one thought. I'm sorry, Emily. I have one thought. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm really sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I just want to encourage you, those who are practitioners, especially. We're looking forward to you joining the virtual collaborative community. Just want to thank you personally for your time, and looking forward to seeing you over on the community side. So I wanted to thank the practitioners, especially for those that are planning on joining as soon as possible.
I agree. We are looking forward to some robust conversations on the virtual collaborative community. If you want to see the PowerPoint from today's presentation, it's downloadable on the left-hand side of your screen from the Files pod, which is underneath the chat. And as always, we will post a recording of this virtual open house webinar presentation to Fatherhood.gov in a couple days. So if you need a refresher about how to get into the VCC or what the different resources were, you can always listen through this again. Like Barbara said, take it at your own pace. Or you can, if you have questions, you can always reach out to us at help@fatherhood.gov.info. Again, that's help@fatherhood.gov.info. Thank you, everyone, and have great afternoons.
And this concludes today's call. Thank you for your participation. You may now disconnect.